Okay, on this next video, we're going to look at how to use the half angle identities. So here's what you need to keep in mind. In lesson 5.4, you would have already found the cosine of 165 degrees. The cosine of 165, you could find it by doing the cosine of 120 plus the cosine of 45 degrees. And if we go ahead and work that out,
you are currently the only person in this conference.
the cosine of 120 is negative 1/2. The sine of 120, and we get negative radical 2 minus radical 6 over 4. Okay, so that's how you would have done the problem in lesson 5.4. In lesson 5.5, you get to use the half angle identity to get the same answer. The answer is going to look different, but it will be equivalent if you put it in your calculator. All right, so what we want to use is the half angle formula for cosine. It says cosine of u over 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine of u divided by 2. Now the first thing you have to figure out is in what quadrant does your angle show up? So think about the cosine of 165 degrees. 165 degrees has a negative cosine. And so we're going to be using the negative formula here. So the next thing you're going to have to figure out is what angle would I put in for u to make 165 degrees. In other words, u over 2 has to equal 165 degrees. That means u has to be 330. So double your angle, and we're going to work this out. We're putting 330 degrees in for u. 330 degrees is an angle on your unit circle. 165 degrees is not on your unit circle. But if I double it, that angle is on my unit circle. So this is another way to find the sine or cosine or tangent of an angle that's not necessarily on your unit circle. So sometimes when you double it, you'll be able to find that angle. Now, I doubled 165, it's 330. I can work with 330 on my unit circle. 330 went in for u. I go to my unit circle now. The cosine of 330 is radical 3 over 2. So I have 1 plus radical 3 over 2 divided by 2. I'm going to get a common denominator right here. Okay. I'm going to multiply by 1/2. I'm going to take the square root. And there we have it. Now, okay, these two angles look drastically different. I'm going to put them both in my calculator and show you that they're exactly the same thing. So the negative square root of 2 minus the square root of 6 divided by 4. This answer is negative 0.9659. Negative square root of 2 plus the square root of 3, all divided by 2. Oops, entered that wrong. Is exactly the same thing. So even though your answers look drastically different, you're getting the same thing. All right, when you do your homework today, I expect you to use the half angle formula, so you get to practice working with your radicals. All right, let's try the sine of 15. So I'm going to come across here. 15 degrees is not on my unit circle. its sign is positive. So when I go to sine of u over 2, I'm going to use the positive square root. So I'm going to be sticking with the positive root because u over 2 has a positive sign. So positive square root. Now, sine of 15, 15 degrees is not on my unit circle, but that's the same as the sine of 30 degrees over 2. So 30 is my u. So basically it's double your angle and plug that in for u. Okay, now the cosine of 30 degrees is radical 3 over 2. So the work's going to look very similar. And there we go. Okay. I'm going to show you also number 42, and then quickly how to solve an equation. So number 42. Let me write it out for you, and then I'll be working it out in my next video. Okay,